Hi, my name is Steve Mills. I'm a former international sportsman, keynote speaker, marketing and sales expert, and the author of 2 marketing books. I want to thank you for taking your time out of your busy day and spending the next few minutes with me. I know your time is important to you, but I also know you will find what I have to say worthwhile listening to. And that's because I've delivered the message to over 5,000 businesses over the past 10 years with outstanding results. If you're like many of the business owners we work with, the chances are that you'll be working much harder at your business and getting far less results than you deserve in return. Chances are also that you've come to believe that this is the way it should be, that running a business has to be hard work. A good friend of mine, Malcolm Whittle, once told me that when you run your own business, it's great because you only have to work half a day. And that the even better news is you get to choose which 12 hours those are. I'm sure you have to put in long hours. I'm sure that it's difficult, if not impossible, to find good people. People who are willing to work as hard as you do and produce the same results. I'm sure that marketing has cost you a great deal of money, and I'm sure you are too busy to write a business plan, let alone a marketing strategy. These are just a few of the key frustrations expressed to me over the years by people who own or manage a business. Frustrations like marketing costs too much money, and in the past we've wasted a significant amount of that money. Or, I don't have enough money. The budget just simply isn't big enough. I don't have enough sales, or my people just don't seem to care. My sales team aren't as effective as they could be, and I waste too much time doing my accounts. These are just some of the problems that we've helped eliminate for hundreds of business people, and that is what I'd like to share with you today. Despite what you think, you don't have to work as hard as you do. You can find and keep good people. You can create a good business which provides you with as much free time as you want to do the things that you want to do rather than the things that you have to do. You can create a business that provides you with a significantly greater income than you presently earn. What I'd like to share with you today is an idea that will help you work on your business and not in it. An idea that will enable you to streamline your business to become more profitable. And it's an idea that only a handful of over 3 million business owners in this country are familiar with, let alone use. And yet, it's an idea that's so powerful, so predictable, so practicable, that once you understand it, you wonder why you've been working so hard all these years. And we call it the systems approach to business. And it's worked for every kind of business imaginable. In retail, in wholesale, in professional and service business. In PLCs, in one-man bands, in theme parks, in the construction industry, in fitness clubs, in carpet cleaning companies, in medical clinics and in solicitors. The point is that whether you are high-tech, low-tech, no-tech, or slow-tech, the idea behind the systems approach to business can work in your business. I know this because it's been put to work in hundreds of businesses just like yours. However, to appreciate the systems approach and what it can do for you, I need you to fully understand what it means to you, and I'm going to need your help. I'm going to ask for the next few minutes that you forget everything you believe to be true about you and your business. I'm going to ask for the next few minutes that you put behind you all the ideas you've grown to accept about your business, what is possible and what is not possible, what will work and what won't. I'm going to ask you that you take a look at yourself and your business in a new way. I'm going to ask you for the next few minutes to consider the possibility that your business isn't what you think it is, that your problems aren't caused by what you think they are. I want you to accept the possibility that your belief about your business is what's standing in your way from getting everything you want from your business. That by simply changing your belief about what a business is and how one works, your entire experience of that business will change. During the next few minutes, I want to give you a totally new point of view. The fact of the matter is that most businesses, if you think about it, in this country don't work. It's not to say the people who own them don't. They do. In fact, most of them work harder than they should for what they're getting in return. Let me tell you a secret. The problem is they're doing the wrong work. And as a result, their business usually ends up in chaos, unmanageable, unpredictable, and mostly unrewarding. If you don't believe me, just take a look at the number of businesses that start and fail in the UK. Every year, more than 500,000 people start a business. But at the end of the first year, 40% of them will be out of business. Within 5 years, more than 80% of them will be out of business. That's 400,000 out of the original 500,000 will have already failed. Now, if you're in business which has managed to survive the first 5 years or more, please don't breathe a sigh of relief. Because the rest of the good news is that of the 20% remaining at the end of 5 years, 90% of those have failed in their second 5 years. The message is predictably clear. If the first 5 don't kill you, the second 5 definitely will. Why? Why do businesses fail? Is it because of the economy? Is it because of the interest rates? Is it because of lack of sufficient capital? Is it because a bigger business moved next door, or is it simply just bad luck? The fact is, it's none of those things. For every one business failure where one or more of these conditions have been listed and given as the reason, you'll find a handful of others who have succeeded beyond everyone's wildest expectations and under exactly the same circumstances in exactly the same business. Vodafone was started in a garage in Newbury, a small market town in Berkshire, less than 25 years ago. It used to be called Rakel Electronics, and it's now the 4th biggest company in the world. ITI were losing millions before Sir John Harvey Jones turned it into one of the most significant business turnaround stories of all time. McDonald's was started by a 52-year-old man called Ray Kroc, with no business experience and no money, in an industry which bankers treated like the lurgy. Ray couldn't borrow money from a bank. They wouldn't even talk to him. And yet at the same time that McDonald's were making business history, White Castle, a chain of hamburger stands for more than 20 years before McDonald's had ever been started, had shriveled up and died. Then there's Virgin, in the beginning a mouse in a world of giants. When Richard Branson started Virgin, he was competing with huge corporations. So it isn't just the money. It isn't about the economy, and it isn't simply attributed to luck. No. So John Harvey Jones, Ray Kroc, Richard Branson weren't just lucky. They knew something that all the others didn't. And that something they knew can be learned. Anthony Robbins teaches that the secret of success is first of all to find out what you want. Secondly, take massive action towards your goal. Thirdly, have sensory acuity to notice whether it's working or not. And fourthly, to keep changing your approach until you find the something that works. Final point. To speed up that process, Robbins says model those already successful. In other words, find somebody who's getting what you want, getting the results that you want, and copy them. You'll get the same or similar results. So what's the difference between successful people and the millions of people who went into business at the same time as they did, but failed? It was their point of view about what a business is and what one isn't. The difference is Tom Watson, Richard Branson are entrepreneurs. The vast majority of people who go into business in this country simply aren't, and that's what it's all about. It's not that they've chosen a bad business or the wrong business. It's not that they don't have enough money or that it's a bad economy or that they can't find and keep good people. It's that they've started a business with an unworkable view or plan. Because the fatal assumption that many people who decide to go into business is that they understand the technical work of the business. They automatically understand how to run a business that does that technical work. So typically, an accountant opens up an accountancy business. The mechanic opens up a garage. The IT expert opens up an IT business, and the beautician opens up a beauty salon. The printer opens up a print shop, and the bodybuilder opens up his own gym. Each and every one of them believing that because they understand how to do the technical work of the business, they know how to run the machine, that they're automatically qualified to run a business that does that technical work. And ladies and gentlemen, it simply isn't true. Running a business that builds a house or fixes a car or runs a machine is totally different from doing the work. Doing the work is what a self-employed person does. Creating a business that works is what an entrepreneur does. And that's the problem with almost every small business in the world. As Gerber would say, the owner of the business is a technician suffering from an entrepreneurial seizure who goes to work in the business and creates a job for himself rather than going to work on the business like an entrepreneur would. So his business ends up being the worst job in the world because he can't leave it, because he's built a business around himself, because in order for his business to work hard, he has to work hard himself. You see, when Kirkpatrick and Hope's client, Mike Holloway, and Dave Diamond went into business as Kookaburra, they never intended to work cleaning ovens. They created an oven cleaning business that worked without them. And as a result, they were able to create 26 more just like it without ever having to clean an oven. When Andrew Gray, the MD at Kirkpatrick and Hope's, introduced System Builder into the business, he did so to enable everyone within the practice to be able to deliver the same high standards of service in a consistent way. You see, all successful business people possess an entrepreneurial point of view, and each and every one of them put effective operational, financial, and marketing systems into the business, and then improve them, and then improve them, and then improve them, until the process creates the machine to an outstanding level. And ladies and gentlemen, it's a process that you can copy. It's a process that you can use. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm not asking you or suggesting you want to create a business as large as McDonald's or Vodafone or Rank Leisure or Virgin. Most people don't. But what I do think is that by adapting the point of view which made such extraordinary businesses possible, you can over time create a business that will work without you, freeing you to do whatever you want to do in an absolutely predictable way. Something which few business owners have the luxury to do. It's what it's all about. It's what we can do to help you. It's about control. It's about a way of looking at your business, looking at any business, which can free the owner of that business to work on it and not in it, while the business does what it's supposed to do, but without the owner of the business having to be there to make sure things are working all of the time. There's absolutely no better example of this than McDonald's. Just think about it. McDonald's is actually 11,000 small businesses spread out all over the world, producing more than $11 billion in revenue each year, feeding more than 500,000 people in this country alone every day 365 days a year, and being one of the most profitable retail outlets in the world, with an average restaurant producing more than $1 million in annual sales, run by teenagers at minimum wage, with a 300% annual personnel turnover each year, and each and every store producing exactly the same product in exactly the same way. We're talking about teenagers that you can't even get to clean their room. So how do they do it? How does anybody do it? Think about it. Most small businesses can't make certain that the receptionist is going to show up on time, even when the owner is standing at the door waiting for them. Most people can't get one business to work, let alone 11,000 of them. So what did Ray Kroc do? What he did was to be honest with himself. He didn't go to business to create a job. He went in to create a better life, to create a better business. And he asked himself, how can I produce a business process which can be replicated in the same way thousands of times? Ray Kroc wasn't in the hamburger business. He was in the business opportunity business. He knew that if he was going to be successful, he had to have a very specific business system, a way of operating the machine which would work in the hands of teenagers. And you too can produce a system that works the same type of system that Ray Kroc did. Now, obviously, I'm not suggesting you go out and form a hamburger business, but a business which employs ordinary people and through specific, measurable, quantifiable, and effective business systems produces outstanding results each and every time. Please also understand me. I'm not saying you should produce thousands of businesses and then franchise them. But what I am saying is, if you act as though you're going to franchise them, you would have to approach the business in a totally different way. In a way that did not rely on you doing the work of the business. Now, just suppose you were going to do this. You need to find a way of getting the work of the business done through other people. And the only way of doing this is to find a system that works. If you did that, then you'd have 4 options. You could franchise it, you could open up another 4 or 5 businesses in the same way, maybe in a different catchment area, or you could hire someone to work your system and then, drive off into the sunset and get the figures occasionally. Or lastly, you can work on your business, the business that you love, doing the work that you love. So, how do you get started? How do you build a systematic business which will free you to do the work that you want to do whenever you want to do it? There are 3 things. 3 things which separate an average business from a successful business. And those things are innovation, quantification, and orchestration. There are 3 keys to our peak performance system. So let's take a look at each of them. Firstly, innovation. Innovation is not what most people believe. It's not about having the best mousetrap. EasyJet's success is not built on having the best in-flight service. EasyJet's success is built upon having the best business system. Innovation is the way a business works, the way you answer the telephone, the way you greet someone at the door, the way your business looks, acts, and feels. How clean it is, how organized it is. It's having a set way of winning business from word of mouth, and then looking at how you can improve that way. When I work as a marketing consultant, I ask people what they spend most of their money on. They tell me things like advertising, direct mail, their website. Then I ask them, where do you get most of your customers from? And I'm usually told word of mouth. When I ask them, do you have a system for increasing your business from word of mouth? I'm usually told no. It just sort of happens. Question. Is something wrong with this picture? You know the answer. It's not an accident that people from Disney act the way they do. It's no accident that Tony Robbins gets 8,000 people to turn up to a seminar in London to walk on fire, and then to spend 14 hours a day with him for 4 days listening to him talk, and then to get them to pay £350 each for the privilege, especially when you consider that most training companies struggle to get 15 people to turn up for a seminar. Now, I'm not an accountant, but, you do the maths. There's a method in their madness. It's not an accident, it's a science. They know that by using something as insignificant as the wrong colour, a business can be lost. Innovation is knowing which headline to use in your advertising. Innovation is knowing what to say to your customers when they enter your business. Innovation is knowing what to say to keep them there as long as possible. Innovation is knowing what to say to win them back again and again. Innovation is knowing how to get them to buy your widgets rather than the widgets down the street. Innovation is knowing how to package goods together to increase your average transaction value. And innovation is constantly testing and changing and trying different things to improve what you do. How your business acts, feels, and looks in order to become the place to go rather than your competitors. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the question innovation asks. The second part of the business development process is knowing the numbers. It's knowing how well innovation works. If by answering the phone in this way rather than that way, you produce a 20% increase in sales, or by sending out sales letter B instead of sales letter A, you produce a 40% increase in inquiries. Quantification is knowing how many calls it takes to get an appointment, how many appointments it takes to make a sale, and how many sales it takes to break even, and what the lifetime value of your customer is. But do you know what's really scary? Most businesses don't know the answer to those questions. So how can they tell what to say, where to say it, how to say it? Without quantification, they can't make a decision at all, except by chance, except by guessing, except by the seat of their pants. The third part of the business development process is orchestration. Once you know that wearing a blue suit in a meeting outpulls wearing a brown suit, then you produce a system of wearing a blue suit at every single sales meeting you ever attend. Orchestration is a system of monitoring how things get done in your business. It can't simply depend on people, because different people will do things different ways, unless they have a system for doing them. It's no accident that some businesses succeed and some don't. Success leaves clues. The systems approach to business is a simple but ingenious idea, enabling you to give your customers what they want time and time again, no matter what happens, even if you're not there. What is also true of every great businessman or woman is that they are willing to admit what they don't know. They then take action on it by training themselves, training their team, or hiring in that expertise. But for the average small business, such expertise is often far too expensive. According to the National Consulting Association, the average consultant costs £850 per day. What does the average business owner say to someone charging this amount? Hurry up! So, if Kirkpatrick and Hopes could provide you with a program of training, advice, and support, a system of innovation, quantification, and orchestration, which could speed up the process of freeing you and increasing your profit at a price that every business can afford, and if we could truly achieve what we say we can, then we could grow our business along with yours. What we're looking for are businesses who want to grow. People who want to work on their business and not in it. If that's you, then we would like to talk. We'd like to complete, at no cost to you, a business builder review. A process to find out about you and if we can help you and to tell you how much that help will cost. But whatever we tell you, you'll have a clearer picture at the end of it about what your business is and about what your business is not. Think about it and then call Kirkpatrick and Hopes. Remember, your life, your health, your family, and your friends are the most important things to consider. I've yet to hear of anyone sitting in their rocking chair when they're 80 years old and saying, I wish I'd spent more time in the office. Once again, thanks for your time and good luck in creating the business that you deserve.
Hello, it's Steve back here live on my podcast. You've just been listening to a recording that I did actually several years ago for a accountancy firm called K&H. I hope you enjoyed it. I thought it would be useful, for me to re-listen to it. It's really interesting. I was thinking when I was listening that, what I was saying back then, probably actually over 10 years ago, is still as relevant today as it was back then. I hope you felt the same. So thank you ever so much for listening, and I look forward to speaking to you again very, very soon. Don't forget to subscribe if you've not already done so. And if you want help with your business, if you're looking for somebody with 30 plus years experience who's learnt about marketing from the world's leading marketing experts and who's ready, willing, and able to help you to grow your business. I've worked with over 10,000 different businesses, making them over 100 million pounds in additional income. Not all of them, just to be clear, but altogether over 100 million. So I've got a rough idea what I'm doing. And if you want to know more and you'll be open to having a 30-minute conversation, then just go to results-mastery.com and book yourself a meeting. And I look forward to speaking to you soon. Thanks again. So, thank you for listening. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, and even more, if you've benefited from it and you'd like to know more, you'd like more of my help, and you'd like to benefit from my nearly 30 years of experience working with and learning from the leading experts in the world in the area of sales and marketing, then here's what you need to do next. You need to go to my website, which is results-mastery.com, and use the gold button to book yourself a meeting on a one-to-one basis with me. Thank you very much for listening again, and I look forward to speaking to you very, very soon. Thank you.